Hello. We are at Dalton Farm, which is in Harbour. It is a mess of rock and hill and scrub. It is next to oh, what's the one up at the top of the map? In theory, it's a beach. Oh. Coastal Cottage. Yeah. Next to Coastal Cottage, this is probably one of the worst places to try to build. It is, yeah. It's nothing but rocky outcropping, scrub, more rocky outcropping, bits of hill. Yeah, this is what the entire thing is like. Except for that little bit of beach. That's it. And the pier, which is where I built a house already. Those are the two flat parts. And that's all. There used to be a falling down bit of shack here, which is now just rock. But it's not even remotely even. Not even a little bit. So, I decided to start building just tiny houses. Just itty bitty. There's Ada. Keeps me company. So there's not much in them yet. I do tend to decorate quite a bit. I've got sort of the bare outline of what each place is going to be like. This is in much rougher condition. And I figure the person inside is a bit rougher too. Lots of shelving.
My onboard functions are operating at full capacity.
Thanks, Ada. I used a piece of shelf to make sort of a mini roof over the doorway. Just because no one likes getting drift on. And on the inside, I can put decorative items up there and not have to worry about them falling over all the time. Pardon me. And this one is even smaller. There is just nicely room for a sleeping bag on the top part of the crow's nest. So I put one there. Give him a nice little shelf. Put some stuff on it. Like a gas mask. Or I guess a sack hood. Some clothing, a bowl, box of Instamash. Tucked that under there with an invisible rug. A box that has nothing in it, but will have stuff on it. Put some curtains up because that's an awful lot of windows to be sleeping under when you're out in this kind of an area. Far Harbour has terrible weather. I gave them a bit of a little windmill with the light going to each one. I figured industrial lighting seemed most appropriate. And really lights with cages around them would have been more likely to survive. Give them a little bit of a deck, kind of an outdoor living area, since they, aside from his table, they really don't have room to kind of just be. Give them a little bit of shelter, so they're not sitting on a wet chair. Put a tent over this entryway just because I figured rain would be washing in there pretty often otherwise. Bordered it a bit with some barrels. And I'll put more junk items and such in there. For those who haven't been here before, this is the main kind of shack for the settlement. This was a pier. I took the railings off the sides because this type of railing went all the way down. So I got rid of it. And there's what was the pier. These posts to make it look like it's being held up. There's kind of a, instead of the usual kind of half side shed wall piece, there's this one, which is 2 lengths long, but it has a far more dilapidated feel because it sags, which I thought was appropriate for this type of an area. And being held up now by pillars. There's one in the back as well that isn't being held up by... And I put a stair down to the ocean because I got tired of having to wander down the beach until I could get out of the water every time I fell off while I was building this. Typical things you'd expect to see along the shoreline. Fish, netting. These are some of my favorite lights, so that's why I'm using them here. Figure there's got to be a church on this island somewhere. I'm not sure why these are sitting out here. Place for them to be. There we go. Should stay there now. But some cups, bowls, ashtray, leather. Some of the basic necessities. Lobster traps, because why not? It's Maine after all.
I don't have time.
Oh, hello. Didn't expect to see you here. Basket and fishing rod seemed appropriate. There are some items on the shelf behind him that he doesn't want us to look at right now, like some clothing and... Yeah, okay. Let's just back into the living room. This is the saggy end bit. You can see it kind of droops down the floor. The walls kind of sag outward. The roof's at a slightly different angle. It doesn't feel stable. But outside stairs to get back up. Lights. More lights along the stairway, just so people don't take a tumble into the ocean. I figure somebody at some point is tanning some hide. Little patio area, spot to keep a lookout. There's a light behind him. And then inside, again, more lighting. Turn my light off. There we go. So, more lighting. The one thing I really like about these bottle lanterns is you can literally set them anywhere. Edge of a broken window, they will stay. I have to move that one. These candles are fine for outlining things, but they don't really give off light. They might if you had enough of them close together, but some more lighting casts really nice shadows. That's probably why I like them. Some plates down there. Some food that used to be in a basket. I'm not sure where the basket went. Table, more kitchen stuff. Shelf with some food. There we go. Ah! The outline of a bucket. There we go. Anyhow, I like this dresser with the drying rack, or the changing table, I guess. And I like putting a bucket underneath to catch the drips from whatever's drying. And I usually like to set them by the stove, so they'll dry quicker. There's a second bed up here, kind of hidden behind, and a bedroom. Bed, dresser with some more kind of feminine things on it. Some dresses. Flowers up there. More flowers there. Kind of hard to see, especially in this lighting, but oh yeah, power armor, but at some point I probably should take back to the mainland. Put it with the rest. And yeah, that's about it for flat spaces in this area. A little bit of beach. Step back here a bit. Show you what we've got, the area. So there's plenty of stuff you can scrap. But plenty of stuff you can't. And sadly, most of the rocks are permanent. Some of the driftwood is permanent. But, I mean, as far as space goes, that's a decent amount of space. The space here is unmodified. I do have one of the scrapping mods. There's a list of mods on my channel. But I don't use anything to modify the size of the setting, or the size of the settlement. But as you can see, it's just uphill, downhill, uphill, down. Which, to be fair, is what the landscape is like around here. I'm just northeast of Maine. And, yeah, this is pretty accurate, actually. Trees and hills. and water. That's where we live. But even with the scrapping mod, these rocks do not go away, which is massively inconvenient. A lot of the trees don't go away. The scrub brush does not go away, which makes it a challenge, or nightmare, depending on your phrasing, to build with. We'll get in here, take a look at these in the light. So this is where the road used to go. Years and years and years and years ago. So those are just boxcars, because I needed something on pylons. There's no other way to build. I like the idea of the backless chair up against the bookcase. You can use that to lean against. I'd like to do something about that lip, but nothing's gonna fit there, right? And I had a terrible time getting this crow's nest to lower, even using the pillar glitch. It did not want to go down at all. Which is why I haven't really fiddled around with it to try to get this patio area lower, so it's not causing an issue getting down those stairs. Just because it did not want to move. I got it this low, and that was as low as it would go. It just... And it didn't matter where. Like, I know that some areas you can't really lower things into the ground much. But it didn't matter where I tried to put it. Some blight, a little bit of corn, somewhere. Oh, there it is. Yeah. But as you can see, trees and rocks and trees. Unscrappable scrub. Yeah. If 10 Pines Bluff gave you headaches, this place would be night. It's just that rough. But yeah. But I figure I'll do a bit of what I did at Nordhagen Beach, and make little trailers and beach houses. Hopefully that will work. Since the landscape is not what I would call forgiving. A lot of the scrap here I'm leaving, and I leave scrap in other places too, depending on where it is and what it is. like the net. It gives a nice little bit of texture to the walkway. So it gets to stay. Let's see what else we can build. I have a shipping container house down in Nordhagen Beach, so I'm not too keen on them though, because they're really narrow. Sort of like the truck. They're also really, really narrow. And buses, also incredibly narrow. I find them difficult to work with. I don't suppose they're any more narrow than the... Definitely not more narrow than the crow's nest. But I don't know, I'm just not keen on building with them. Over at the visitor center, I have a couple of beds set up in like the back of a pickup truck. And inside a not shiny new car. Let's see if they had the fan with the doors open. I'd be tempted to use it. Because it would... That would make an excellent space if it, you know, was roofable. Sadly, it's not really. Been debating putting something on a boat. Reminds me of an Avro arrow. I didn't even know UFOs were a possibility. Oh, I have one of these over at the visitor center as well. Or it might have... No, it wasn't already there. I had to think. I don't think I could get a bed in there. Make a decent living space. If it, you know, didn't seem terribly ridiculous to have a perfectly good vertibird being used as housing instead of flying. Sadly, there's no crashed version. Oh, I glitched the world for a second there.